back to Relatively Related. I'm your host for today, Terry.
And I am Troy Penny.
I'm Trudy.
And I'm Tari.
And today we're going to continue our discussion on gratitude. More specifically, today we're going to focus on kids and gratitude. So my first question for you guys, let's just get right into it. I don't have a game today or anything like that.
Come on, Terry. Come on, man.
I dropped the ball on that one, you know?
Jeez, you had one job.
So my first question for you guys, why do you think it's important for kids to show gratitude?
Okay, well, I'm just going to start. Just because you don't want to have some child that's like this bad manners kind of child, you know, like you want your kid to be a child where people, when people come across them, you know, they're like, yeah, that's a good kid, you know? Yeah, so that's why I think gratitude is important for kids.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think it's important because it helps them learn to appreciate people, things, and that's like a good skill for them to develop like contentment later in life. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking more along the lines of it's good for developing character. Yeah, it's, you know, with kids you want to develop their character to make them good human beings as a parent.
Yeah.
And even as a child, you know, having gratitude really helped develop my character. So I think it's all about character.
Yeah, and it's all good answers, as you guys mentioned. No, there haven't been any studies done specifically on kids. Usually, they more focus on adults. But in recent years, more and more studies have looked at the effect of gratitude on kids, and you'll be not surprised. It's actually the benefit for gratitude is very similar to adults. So some studies have shown that gratitude for kids can be a very powerful food with lots of benefit for mental and physical health. So some of them may include like higher levels of happiness and optimism. If you show gratitude, you're generally more optimistic.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Some of them it improves sleep. We did an episode on sleep where Char discussed the importance
Oh,
of
right.
sleep,
Yeah, I
right?
remember.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was so long ago, you know.
Yeah, so that's also really it helped them. It's less stress and improved ability to cope with stress, fewer physical problem, reduce depression, less aggressive, increase self-esteem, and improve resilience. Overall, it just helps this child by showing gratitude to be a happier person.
Now, you said increased what? What was that other one? Increased something, you said.
Increase self-esteem.
Oh, okay. Increased self-esteem. Got it. Yeah.
So generally, when someone is when a kid is showing gratitude, it will help them overall being a happier person. So when you hear about that, do you guys agree, disagree?
I think so, because one thing that'll help a child be a happier person too is just like if you have people around you who are constantly wanting to be around you. Like you never want to be that kid that like people are just like, do you see that child? That child's doing good. But, like I don't want to be around that child. But yeah, I think that just showing gratitude and having people notice that, I think it'll help you also be a bit happier. Just you know, just knowing from a young age, you know, like, oh, I showed gratitude and it helped. Well, not help, but help. It made somebody else feel better, even though they were making me feel better by doing something for me.
Yeah, good point. I think it's like I agree that it would make you happier because it's just appreciating what you have, right? So if you appreciate what you have, you tend to be happy because you're appreciating what you have. That's why I say like if I only have like one phone, I appreciate it, then I'm gonna be happier than the person who doesn't have gratitude towards the phone they have, right? True. So yeah, I can see how that applies.
Yeah, and I was just thinking like someone who has it all, like a kid who gets whatever they want, but they don't appreciate what they actually have, versus like someone who may not get all that they want, but the little thing that they do have, even at a really young age, if they're just really thankful for whatever they have, generally speaking, they'll be a lot more happier than someone who is getting everything, but they don't appreciate it of it. So I'm just like thinking like at a very young age, like it's so important for us to like instill happy gratitude, showing gratitude towards kids. So one of the things I was thinking about, because one of the hardest things for me, just with my daughter Bella, is understanding how is she going to understand the concept of gratitude, right? Because she's only 4 years old. So how would you show her, like you don't want her to just say thank you for the sake of saying thank you. You want her to really understand why she's saying thank you, why it's important to do that. So this was one of the things that I really wanted to get out of that. So how would you guys, and that includes Troy, obviously.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask, like, cause my 4-year-old, like, I'm trying to get my 4-year-old to like say thank you more, and it's really tough. So
Yeah, it's been a rough road.
it's been a really rough road, and you guys are, older parents, so I was just wondering how I can do that.
Your imaginary 4year-old.
No, my real 4-year-old, my
okay,
actual, real flesh and blood.
I don't think
We
I
just
met
don't
that
know
child
about
yet, but okay.
Yeah, no.
But one of the things I think is important to get your input also is that sometimes someone outside of the situation can give a better input of
Yeah.
someone dealing with it, right? So that's why your input would be really
I guess so. Well, I mean, since you want my input, I'll just go first. I guess one way you can do that for your kid is to show them that the world is bigger than themselves, and that you are a part of a community, and you're a part of, other just people trying to live life, right?
Yeah.
So when you say things like thank you and you show gratitude towards other people, it helps them. It will not only helps them, but I keep going back to this point. It makes them feel good about helping you. And I mean, if you are a narcissistic parent, you could be like, well, if you want more people to help you, show more gratitude.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but that
it's
could
still a
work too.
truthful
Yeah, no, it's
statement.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want more people to help you,
Yeah.
show more gratitude.
It's true.
And live life outside of yourself. Like, don't just be like, oh, it's me. Like, think about how your actions how you receive other people's actions, how that can make them feel.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
No, that's really good. I like that.
Yeah.
I would say to get a young child to understand gratitude, it's good for you as a parent to demonstrate gratitude, right?
Yeah.
So it should be something
by
that you do,
example.
on a consistent basis, and it should be something you do towards them, the child, right?
Yeah.
Because as we said in previous episodes, especially with West Indian parenting, sometimes the whole concept of
I say thank you. already.
yeah, there's that, but then also like
I
the
give you what you
parent,
need.
the
Yeah.
parent just feels like, well, I am the provider. I provide
Done.
these things for you.
God.
So that's it. Like I don't need to,
Yeah.
So, but it's still important as a parent, like saying to your child if they put their dishes in the sink. Oh, thank you for helping me, Bella, with the dishes. Thank
Yeah.
you for making
Yeah.
up your bed. Like, but don't think that okay, well, you should know to do that.
Yeah.
You should do that. No,
yeah.
you can still say thank you for whenever they do something that's wonderful. So you're setting that pattern for them.
When they see it, they'll also do
Yeah,
it.
they'll emulate
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that's really good. And I know you said that like with the just saying it just for saying its sake, but I think a good starting point, like saying thank you, teaching her to say thank you just for saying it, I think it's still a good starting point
Yeah.
to do the practice. Like, you got to walk before, crawl before you walk kind of thing. So like,
Walk before you run.
yeah, exactly.
Run before you
exactly.
fly. Sorry, I'm gonna. Stop.
Yeah, that reminds me of like Obama, like when they said, you know what the quote I'm talking about, right? But the point is that like, still she should say it, even if like she doesn't fully grasp the concept as well, because our brain matures at different rates, right?
Yeah.
So it's still a good starting point for her to start getting into the habit of saying thank you, because you know what, when you go out there in the world, as Troy kind of alluded to earlier, people would treat you based on how you respond to them. So if she gets into the practice of saying thank you, trust me, life is going to be a lot easier for her with the
Yeah.
relationships she has, the interactions she has. And then as she does more and says thank you more, she's gonna get the concept and understanding. Honestly, knowing your daughter, how smart she is, like she probably
knows.
already did. But even if she didn't,
Yeah.
like she will get it. It's just starting small and just saying those things, because it is really good to have that appreciation to others, especially to adults. Adults really love a respectable
Yes.
child.
Yeah.
Like it makes a difference.
No, like I'm telling you, when I was younger, I didn't get it. But now that when I see respectable children, I'm just, that is a respectable child.
It's
I
so
like that child.
it's so nice.
It's
how-
nice.
And,
Like, yeah.
and when you're respectable, I really like that comment that you made. When you're respectable to like just kids in general, or your adults or anything like that, people would want to do stuff for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like if you're just, Terry, I like that point that you made. Even though she may not understand it, just having that concept of saying thank you. Like if when you're a kid and you hear someone saying thank you, oh, thank you for borrowing me a toy. Obviously, you're gonna
Yeah.
want to let them use your toy again.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to be sociable, to gain friends and everything like that, just by a simple thing of saying thank you. So that was really well said. So now I'll move on to some of the things that I was looking at this website, and it's called Mindful Little Minds, and it's a website that gives tips to help child development. So it's a really good website. I suggest our family and stuff like that. If you have a younger one, it's good to just check it out. So they came up with some pointers of how you can actually get kids to understand the concept of gratitude. And I'll go through them one by one, and we can slowly talk about them. So the first one they said is help your kids see something that can come from difficult circumstances. No matter what the situation is, there's always something good that you can see from it. And that just goes back to Troy original thing, with where he talked about the lady showing, even though she didn't have the best relationship with her dad or everything like that, she saw the positive of it. So just starting that from a younger age, like if the weather is bad outside and your kid is like, oh my God, it's such a bad weather outside, it's raining or whatnot, rather than seeing it as a bad thing, just be like, well, at least you can stay in with us and we can have a good time indoor, right? So that's I thought that one was a good one. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a very powerful point. And I'll even add, like, changing your language can also help with practicing more gratitude. Instead of like using your example with the rain and stuff, instead of saying, oh, it's raining, like we have to stay inside, you can now say, oh, we get to try this new craft, or we get to do this thing, right? So just being mindful of that and showing that to your kids, like, okay, instead of saying things like, oh, we have to do this now because it's raining, or whatever the case may be, just try to change your language. And I think
flipping
that
it,
would help. Just seeing the positive side. But yeah, I think that's a good point, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's good with that is like it helps the child learn how to see negative situations in a positive light. Like that's what you're teaching them, right? And I think that's what, the happiest people in the world are really good or skilled at doing, right? They're able to see, okay, oh, there's rain outside, but that means all the plants are getting water. That means, the worms are getting to,
Well, I wouldn't need your warm for Bella.
I know. Bella and I are not into that bugs nonsense, but
we could have a fun movie night or something.
A fun movie night,
out,
and it's good to say, like, I'm thankful that we get to do X, Y, Z because of the rain. So you're just teaching them from an early age how to see the glass half full. So that's a really good point. I like that.
Like I know back when we were younger in Grenada, and whenever it rains, it was fun because you get to hear the rain on the roof.
Oh,
and
I
like,
used to love that.
That was the best time. So like some people might be hating on the rain, but we were like so excited. Oh my gosh, you're hearing the rain on the galvanized, it's so nice, So yeah.
I remember those days. I look back on them with fondness. Yeah.
So the second one they talked about is daily gratitude reflection. And actually, when they said that, that actually brought a smile to my face because over the last about a year and a half now, what Jasmine have been doing it was her idea, I'm not going to say it's mine. Every night before Bella goes to sleep, we all have to say one thing that we're grateful for. So it can be the smallest thing, like I'll be like, oh, I'm grateful for Bella listening today. I'm grateful for Jasmine just cooking for me. So it doesn't have to be anything major, but just having that daily gratitude reflection. I think that one really stood out to me because I'm like, oh, we do that also.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, every day there's something good that you can take away and just kind of spend some time talking about it. Yeah. Even if it's you might think it's the worst day, there must be something good that you're still alive or something, that you should be thankful for. Yeah, I like that one.
And even if like it helps you to not take things for granted because even if all you have is to like just be thankful for life, still do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. And so the other one is help others. And this one is like, it could be by donating the belonging, all the toy, giving your older toys to others. Just by helping others, it's showing that you're grateful for them. So I thought that one was really good. And in the same line as that one, random act of kindness. So, and I thought that was good because, for example, if you see like Timmy putting away his toys or anything like that, just be like, oh, Timmy, I thank you for putting away your toys, right? So that sticks up to him. So you show them that once they do something good, they get affirmated for that. So I thought that one was really good. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I like that. I remember we were doing some community volunteer, and one of the organizers, she said to us, I don't remember if you guys were there when she said that, but it's the same group we worked with. She said that she was bringing her kids with her, like her little kids. And she said the reason is because that's one of the best things to teach the kids. Like when they go into the community, they volunteer and stuff, and they see others that are less fortunate. They can kind of appreciate what they have more. So yeah, I do like that. It's important to teach kids the importance of like giving back and stuff because that would help them be thankful more. Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the whole teaching your kid to live with the mindset of it's not just me, like there are other people in the world, and
community,
figuring out a way to like give back.
And I think especially now with this being like Christmas season, I know something that I'm really hoping to do with Timothy is I don't want him to think Christmas is about him receiving gifts. I think that's like the worst thing, like where the kid thinks like, oh yeah, it's all about me. I'm getting all these toys and stuff. I want him to start thinking, okay, so what's a gift you have to get for Bella? What's a gift you're gonna get for all your little friends
Uncle
and stuff
as well?
I don't know about that.
No, it's funny. It's funny because that's why the last time we went to the store with him, we made sure to say, okay, Christmas is coming up, but we didn't say what are you getting. We asked him,
what do you want to get?
What do you want to get for like people,
your little friends?
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's good for them to start thinking about that. It's not about you or like. It is nice, don't get me wrong, for kids. We all remember when we were younger and opening the presents, right? But as you said, Troy, it's not just about their world. It's about there's other people too.
I'm definitely going to use that with my little 4-year-old. That's not real, but
I thought you meant when you have.
No, I'm using it for my invisible 4-year-old right now.
Yeah, no, it's good to. I really like that point. It's good to give back. It's good to
Yeah.
give back. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one that they mentioned was chores, like by
Okay.
giving them that one is by showing them all the stuff that they could do around the house, they will see a greater appreciation of, all the stuff that mommy and daddy and, everyone does around the house. So just giving them
Oh.
little chores.
Free child
shows them
labor. Yeah, I'm down for that. I like that. That's good. That's a good thing. Yeah.
Hey, we all know that's one of the perks of having a kid, right?
Especially in a Caribbean household, free child labor. I mean, that's just. Yeah.
I mean, after a long day of work, you don't want to get up and get that remote, but the kid is always
and
so
even
excited.
though the remote is right there, you still call a child, hey, come and get that. Where is it? Right there. Right there, pointing right next to it.
My hand's not long enough.
Not long enough.
And the nice thing with the chores one too is, again, as I said, like as a parent, when your child does the chore, you can show them through example, you being grateful for them doing the chore, right?
Yeah.
Like, thank you for taking out the garbage. Thank you for doing XYZ.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good one as well.
Yeah, that's that. It just being, but I never thought of it the way you're saying. Even the ones they can't do, you can show them. You like, I can be like, look, mommy always makes food. Like, mommy's making food for us, right? He can't make food yet, like not except in his imagination, but he can't actually make food yet. But when he gets the food, he would have a sense of appreciation, like,
That's
oh yeah,
true.
mommy does that for us,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So out of all of these, and the one that you guys mentioned, studies has been done and seen which one is the most effective. Which one do you guys think is the most effective out of all of these? Which one? Because what they said, right, at the age of 5, kids under 5, they only show gratitude about 20% of the time. So obviously you want them to be more
Grateful.
Yeah.
grateful, right?
Respectable children. Yes.
So they done some research,
20%,
and out of all of them, what do you guys think was the most efficient one? And just to give you a hint, someone did mention it.
Can I go? Like,
Yeah.
do I lay things? Because you guys seem like you guys
I
want to
don't
go.
know.
I don't know.
I think it's the community, like going into the community. I could be wrong, but that's the one I'm thinking. Like,
like
you like
teaching your child that it's not just them, or
like when they go into the community and they see others, like
oh
when
yeah,
they do,
I think that
I
one.
think that could be
Yeah.
it. I could be
That
wrong.
one could
but
be it.
That would be my guess. Anyone else want to make a guess? That's
Nah,
kind of a
I'm-
game,
I don't
Terry.
know.
That's
That
kind
was
of a
hard.
game.
I'm gonna go with you and just stay safe and do
I
that.
know. I don't know.
Come on, Trudy, give it a guess.
I don't know. Like, I really don't know which one. I find they're all really good.
They all are really
for
good. They
teaching
are.
They're
kids
all really
gratitude.
good.
Yeah, so I just don't know
They're
which
all
one.
really good. They are.
So I guess what we're saying is do all of them with
Just
your
do
children.
everything.
Yeah, to all of them. Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Absolutely.
But
do all of them.
Terry's gonna tell us which
Yes.
one is the best one.
Okay, so after they did in 2006, they did publish a study, applied development science, found that, and Sudi mentioned it, grateful parents tend to raise.
Oh, that's good.
grateful
That makes
children.
sense. Oh,
That's true. That's
you
true.
mentioned
So-
it, Trudy.
That's true.
And you didn't even know.
Yeah,
Well-
you didn't even say it.
Ay.
So there's a good chance that because kids learn to be grateful by hearing and seeing their parents' gratitude, generally speaking, the best way to have a kid model gratitude is by you yourself
Yeah.
showing gratitude.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
It makes
Not
sense.
what we know those things where when you get the answer, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like that's the answer. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah, of course, that's it.
because
Yeah.
That makes the most
Yeah,
sense.
But
'cause-
it's true, and then
No.
I really don't like that saying that some people have, like, do as I say and not as I do.
Yeah.
No, your kid's gonna do what you do.
Yeah.
Like, if you
It's
do,
true.
if you're not showing gratitude, your child's not gonna show gratitude either.
True,
You can't just be like, well, I told them to say thank you. No, are you someone that says thanks and stuff? So,
yeah, and I was actually thinking with you guys in this example, right? Like, because I remember with your dad, like, it was just, I was helping him with something outside, but it was something that would benefit the whole house. Like, it was, and he said thanks or whatever. Like, little things like that. Like, he always says thanks, right? And then you guys are the same. Like, you guys are the same. And your mom too. She says thanks a lot for pretty much everything. And you guys both have a lot.
But you said, "Oh wow!" Like, you're shocked.
Like, are you surprised?
Are you in the same
Well, no,
household?
I just thought that was something that people just...
Okay.
No, but
Yeah.
that's why. But that's a
Yeah.
perfect example.
Yeah.
That goes to show how, like, people who
Natural
are
it is,
around,
yeah.
like, parents, even if I guess that one of the examples, the takeaways we can have is, like, even if you're not saying, say thanks.
Yeah.
But if you're actually doing it, like,
Yeah.
living it, then the kids are just gonna, like, as they say, by osmosis, just take it up and start doing it
It's
too.
true.
I even used to say thank you for my licks, but anyway, so we'll keep going. Tell you,
Well,
like,
there's something that you can learn from your legs, right?
yeah, you can always learn something from licks.
What's the
my-
positive takeaway from these blows?
Oh my. See the glass half full.
Full.
Yeah, it makes a lot of
Filled
sense.
with my tears. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah.
Just one of the last questions that I have is, how would you go about to model gratitude for your children?
Say that again.
How would you go about to model gratitude for your children? Because obviously, what they see from you, that's what they're gonna apply to their life, right? So, how would you go about modeling gratitude for your kids?
Well, Trudy and Tyre should answer this because.
No, you can
But
answer.
what about
too.
your
You're gonna-
4-year-old child?
All right, my 4-year-old son.
And
Yeah.
when when
did
you
your
have
parents
other kids
model
on top of the
gratitude?
4-year-old, your
Right.
next children,
More children.
Or how would
other
you
children.
model gratitude to Tim?
I guess I'll just I would have to be more grateful and like say things like, thank you for playing with me and thank you for watching the show with me. Thank you for going on a walk with me. Like saying thank you to the point where it feels like, okay, all right, like I get it now. Like you really want your kid to really
for your kids,
get it.
yeah.
Like, cause again, going back to that point, I thought just saying thank you for the smallest things was something that people typically do.
All families just
All
do.
families do that, but hearing you use that as an example, it made me really like think like, oh no, maybe it's not like that in other homes. So yeah, it would just require me as the parent, as the older person, to just live a more grateful life. And you can't just tell your kid, do as I say, not as I do. You have to show it.
Yeah. I would say, similar things as Troy, just continuing to be, someone that shows gratitude in dealing with Timothy. The little things he does, just saying thank you for it and not thinking like, oh, well, he doesn't understand. Because kids pick up, like they really get this stuff. It's shocking to know how much they learn from us. So yeah, just being really grateful and teaching him. And also to, I know we said earlier, don't tell him to just say thank you for the sake of it. But because he's 2, it's like this is a time for him to get into that whole pattern.
And that's what
of
we've been
saying
trying,
thank you. We've been trying with him because sometimes it just
even
be
when
like
no,
I want
thank
my
you,
show.
That's a new thing,
Yeah, and
you
you're
don't
like,
want
no,
something.
you gotta say, please and thank you, like using those types of words. And as he gets older, then incorporating more of these other things Terry mentioned as well.
Yeah. So like for me, I think there's multiple ways you can do it, but I think one of the key thing is to keep showing him the value of like doing stuff for others as well. That would help him appreciate what he has. Like, you already have 5 Paw Patrol pups or whatever.
Yeah.
How about
Give
you
a pup to somebody else.
How about you give a pup to like your friend or
I don't
something?
think Tim will do that.
No.
Not Paw Patrol.
Not Paw Patrol.
Not
Paw
Paw
Patrol?
Patrol, yeah.
Ryder? Rubble? Like,
No.
You already have the whole thing,
Isn't there a new Paw Patrol now?
Rex,
Yeah, there's a new
Rex.
pup.
There's Rex?
called
Yeah.
Is Rex the one with the little wheelchair?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's actually a good
They're bringing
idea.
in the whole,
Yes.
Yeah, I like
that was
that.
really
I
good.
like
yeah.
that. More
So I think
representation.
they have like 8 or 9 different ones now. So just letting him know, like, okay, you have all these things. How about we get this for someone else? Things like that.
Yeah.
And like when he's old enough, like bringing him into like do volunteer to help us do volunteer. So those are like the two of the ones I wanted to mention. But the main one is kind of in line with what you guys have been saying, being that example, and crucially, not just to him, not just saying, oh, thank you when he does something or telling him to say thank you, but like
Others.
whenever he's around us and
Yeah.
always. So I guess just be a person that's thankful, because kids, like they'll see you being thankful, telling them to say thanks. And then like if Trudy does something and he sees the way I'm talking to his mom, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Or if like he sees the way I'm talking to his uncles and I'm like, whatever with you guys, then he's going to pick up on that. Daddy's telling me to say thanks. But so it's not just to him, in addition to other people being thankful, because then he'll be able to appreciate and take up that. I think with you guys, with your parents, and with us, with our mom, it's not like she didn't always say, but that tell me to be like thankful. But I always saw her saying thanks
Yeah.
to people.
Yeah.
I always saw her calling back people and telling them thank you, or like trying to repay them if they did a favor for her. No matter
Yeah.
how long she had to save up, she would go back and repay them. So it's kind of like that. That's how I subconsciously just picked it up. Like, yeah, I should say thanks. Like, and it's funny. You're right, Troy. Like, people don't appreciate that. I don't know if it was on the podcast, but a few weeks ago, I was telling you when I used to work somewhere and they got a raise.
That was a
Yeah, and they never said thanks.
Oh,
But
yes.
for most people, for other people, it might just be like automatic
Yeah, yeah.
to say thank you, right? It's just
Yeah.
like, thanks, like you give me a raise. I'm happy,
Yeah, thank you,
but
yeah.
other people, they don't see it like that. So, yeah.
So again, guys, say thank you and make your boss cry. Anyways.
Oh, yeah, it was on the
Yeah,
podcast.
it was. Yeah. Say
it
thank
was.
you and make your boss cry. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's just do. And kids pick up those things, man. Kids are so smart. Smarter than you
So
give them credit.
just a couple of points that I jot down when thinking about is how we can model gratitude for kids, and you guys mentioned most of them. Obviously, say thank you, and not just thank you to them, like Tari mentioned, but even when you go to the store and the person cash you are, say thank you to them. Like, yeah, that's important. Make it a point to talk about gratitude. So be grateful for, even when you have a rough day, as we mentioned, be grateful for that. Make it a point to talk about gratitude. Express gratitude to others. So for example, when your child see you writing a thank you note for someone, or just sending them a token of appreciation for what they did. That's important, so that they can, once they see you modeling that, they'll be like, oh yeah, I see my mom write thank you note for the smaller things. I should do that as well, right? Let them see you being kind, giving your time, helping others. And just one of the things that I really like is just showing appreciation to your loved ones. And just to wrap everything up, the best way for your kids to show more gratitude is for you yourself to model it to them.
Boom.
And I think that's really important. If you model it to them, they're not gonna listen. They are gonna listen to what you say, but it's more what you do that they're gonna implement it in their life. And I thought that was a really good point. So overall, I just think as parents, we just have to show our kids to be grateful, and that entail will make them to be make them to be more grateful and an overall happy individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Sounds
that.
good.
And the thing about gratitude that I really just like is that it's not one of those things, I keep on saying it, it's not one of those things that is just for other people. It helps you. Like, it really adds so much more value to your life. So just being grateful and showing that to your children, again, as Terry was saying, it's not only going to help them to like show that gratitude, but I feel like it's going to make them better people on the whole.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Because I see like kids as like I was listening to this book about the 12 rules of life, and the guy was saying like when you have a kid, it's like you're trying to help someone become a better human being in
pretty
the future,
much.
right? That's what you're really doing. Just make
Do
them.
I want kids? Because that's
You want them to be a better individual than you.
In the future, like not just than you, but just in general, like when people interact with them. So if you teach them gratitude, you know, that's like a good starting point.
Because parents because my parents think like, oh, I'm raising my little girl, I'm raising my little boy. You're not raising a little girl, you're not raising a little boy, you're raising a little human. Like they're an adult. You're gonna be raising someone who's gonna be part of society. So make sure you train them the right way from the start.
To interact with like society and people, and like to like they won't always get things their way. How do they react?
People,
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've been trying to, just while I was looking at this, is one of the things that I'm trying to do is just being more mindful to the things that I see around Bella. Like, even though like me and, you know, like when you're younger and you hear your parents talking and you're trying to listen and they're like, this is big people conversation. But at the same time, you're hearing what they're saying, right? So I'm just trying to be really mindful when around Bella, even though like me and Jasmine may having a conversation that she may not necessarily understand. She is hearing, and we have to be mindful that, you know, we're not being totally negative. We're not putting down someone else around her, right? Because all those things, she eventually, if she's hearing that, she's just gonna be like, "Oh, that's normal for us to talk to people like that." So that's one of the things that I got away. Like I have to catch myself now, just being mindful of what I say around Bella.
And for me, I just wanted to kind of just ask this last question, just for everyone, since like, you know, this kind of ends our gratitude series, right? So just one final thought on the concept of gratitude. You know, we went through all the different gratitude to parents, to in relationship, to kids, and just in general, we talked about gratitude throughout the past three weeks. Any final thoughts on the concept of gratitude, guys?
I can definitely say that I learned a lot about gratitude, and honestly, if anybody suffers from any kind of like depression or anything, please try gratitude. It's going to help you combat this thing to like there like no other tool basically. Like when you focus on, and I say focus on, like intentionally focus on the good in your life and the good things, and even like the things that aren't around right now, like the future, like the good things that'll happen in the future, it'll help you to just keep living and just, you know, keep on just, I don't know, showing up every day basically. So practice gratitude and show up every single day. That's my little thing I can say to people.
Thanks, Troy. And and you know, as you mentioned that, it kind of just it harkens back to when you mentioned like some of the struggles you had and how it helped you. So I really appreciated you adding that.
No problem.
Trudy?
My thing that I really took away was just getting into the habit of, you know, be it every night, just being
You took Terry's thing.
I beat him to
no, I have to think of something.
You gotta think real
but
quick.
no, Tari can still say it because the way I'm gonna say it is a little different. So for me, what really reminds me every night to just be grateful is like when I would walk into the room and I would see Timothy sleeping in the crib and like he has his bum up and he's like, you know, curled down. I'm just like, oh, this is my favorite little child. Like, oh, you know, and I'm like, I'm so happy to have him in my life. And then I'll think back, even
this
though
is gonna be so embarrassing when he's older and he's like a teenager.
so like,
you know your dad is gonna show you what your mom did to you. Don't worry, I'm not putting you on blast.
So it's like even if during the day he might have a little meltdown or he was cranky, whatever the case is, like just seeing him sleep just makes me so grateful that he's in my life.
Wow.
So it's just like, man, I'm so thankful for him. And then like from there, I would just start listing the other things that I'm thankful for in the day. So yeah, just using him as a little cue for my grateful.
I really want a kid now.
In due time.
In due time. I can wait. I'll wait.
So in order to get a kid, you need to have
I need to find a wife.
A wife, right?
Cool.
No, but no. The reason I said wife is because I also thankful that you actually went through the 9 months to bring Tim into
you
the
meaning
world,
Trudy, but I don't know if Terry transitioned nicely.
I was a little bit
I was a bit confused as well.
I was like, are you talking to Troy?
You're talking to Troy.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
I had to make sure the people knew I'm not a female and I'm not Terry's wife.
So yeah, just from that perspective. But what I've kind of gathered and gained from these few weeks is take the practical steps in doing the thankfulness. Don't just say generically I'm thankful. Do practical things. It started with what Troy talked about, like be intentional with that thankfulness, and like when we spoke about with the relationships, thank the person for whatever they're doing. And with kids, be that example, that practical example. So, just going through this month, just actually writing down things I'm thankful. That was something practical doing that I hadn't done before, that I thought, okay, I'm a thankful person, fairly thankful. But when you take it that next level to the practical steps, every night jotting down something, every night thinking intentionally, what am I thankful for? I think that really does help. And that's my kind of takeaway. Even though you might be a generally thankful person, take the practical steps of being thankful.
And it helps you to be more observant in daily life. Yeah. Go ahead, Terry.
One of my biggest takeaway from this whole series, and like I knew how important it was to say like thank you and stuff like that, but I didn't know how really important it is, how it affects your health, how you're generally a happier person when you're more grateful. You wouldn't think like something so small can have such a big effect on your actual life. And even when you are having a rough day and it's hard to find something, because we all have those, where it's really hard, you get into a car accident, whatever the case may be, just sit down and find something that you can be grateful for. And it goes a long way to your happiness. Like I never understood how important it is to be grateful. And just by going through this with you guys, doing this, I see how important it is to your well-being, to your health, to your mental state. There's so much thing that comes through from something so small that everyone can do. There's no reason why no one can just be grateful for whatever they have, but it goes a long way for you being happy. And that was really good that I got out of this.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I guess
that pretty much
we can wrap up now, right? Yeah.
So thank you for listening to us this series of gratitude.
Thank you.
Yes, we really hope that you also, develop these patterns and skills of gratitude in your own life, starting with liking our channel, subscribing, giving us a rating, especially on iTunes. That would really help us, in the long run. And just sharing this with your friends. Be grateful and share the information, the wealth of information that you've received.
Don't be ungrateful.
If you got anything from what we're saying, just share it. It might help someone else, right?
Yeah, man. So, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.